Hi, everybody, and good morning. I'm glad that everything is working this morning. I'm very excited that we could finally have our class session here. I'm so sorry that we couldn't get things up and going on Tuesday. I'm not sure what the problem was, but good morning. Good morning. My name is Elisa Setmire, and I'm your instructor for our Tuesday, Thursday abnormal psychology class. Can you all hear me and see me okay? Can somebody let me know in the chat if you can hear and see me just fine? Oops, sorry. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, great. Wonderful. All right. Thank you all for letting me know. And again, I'm sorry that we had issues on Tuesday morning. That's obviously not the way that I would love to start a class out, but everything is working fine today. And so that's fantastic. But good morning. I hope everyone is hanging in there. This is my Tuesday, Thursday abnormal psychology class. And obviously, this semester hasn't started the way that we wanted it to, right? We were supposed to be meeting in person, and here we are virtual, just like everything has been for the last, almost 2 years. So we'll see what happens. As of right now, we are scheduled to be virtual for the first 3 weeks. I haven't received any update from the college yet as to what will happen after that. So we will just take it day by day or week by week and see what happens. So we'll make the best of it. I've been teaching this class online now for the last 2 years. And I've been teaching online for maybe 10 years before that. So I have everything all set and organized, and we will just approach this like a 100% online course until we hear otherwise. But good morning, Happy New Year. Your way to communicate with me during this is to use the chat. Oh, thank you, Tropical Geek. That's nice of you to say. But I'm glad all of you are here. And again, the way to communicate with me would be the chat. So if you have any questions or thoughts or comments, please feel free to put those in the chat and I will get to them. I'm following on my phone and on my computer. But what we will do today and normally for the next couple of weeks while we are online is I'm going to go over our Canvas page and give you some information about the class. We'll go over the syllabus just a little bit. I'll go over the requirements for this week and how everything is organized. And if you have any questions, this is a wonderful time to ask me. And again, you can just put those into the chat. So let's head over to Canvas together. And at some point today, make sure you put your first and last name in the chat. A lot of you have done this already. Oh, thank you, Sarah. That's wonderful. It looks like you created a Discord link. That's nice. Thank you. So let's go ahead and go over to Canvas together. And this is our course homepage. And if you can make it here, you should be in really good shape. Everything is linked from this page, and I have it all organized really well. And again, we're going to just approach this like a fully online class for the next couple of weeks. And if we have to pivot and go to in-person instruction after that, we will do so. So once you're on this page, you'll notice that there is a little course description at the top, and then everything underneath is organized into little folders. Again, I've been teaching online for a while. I'm an exceedingly organized person, so hopefully that makes that comes across and makes it easy for you on your end. But if you click here on any of these links, they'll take you to the respective modules. And so you can start here with the mandatory orientation. There's some information about getting a hold of me, help and campus resources, course documents and videos, and then underneath are all of the weeks. And I have it laid out all the way to the end of the semester, though again, we will see what happens as we get closer to the end of this month. Is anybody disappointed, relieved? I've been fighting. I'm totally sick. I hope it's not COVID, but you never know right now. Anyone else fighting something or happy or sad? I don't know how you're feeling about the fact that we're online. Any thoughts or reactions to our current state of where we're at, virtual versus in person? I was very nervous about our in-person class, but also looking forward to it. So I'm a little bit mixed, and I guess I'm kind of just waiting to see what happens. But if any of you want to share where you're at with that, you're welcome to put that in the chat. Not your ideals thus far. Yeah, I agree. I agree for sure. Yes, I'll go over the textbook in a little bit, Miriam, so don't worry about that. I'll go over it. And if I don't answer your question when we get there, make sure you ask again. Yeah, I was looking forward to in person too. Like I was nervous about it, because it will have been almost 2 years, but I was excited to try and jump back into it. And so yeah, we'll see what happens. Yes, I will go over the syllabus in a little bit here. Um, yeah, your campus wants to go in person. Yeah, a lot of it sounds like a lot of you were looking forward to it. Yeah, and me too. And so right now it's at 3 weeks. So they are saying at the moment we are online 100% through the 30th of the month, right? So we are online for the first 3 weeks of the semester, and then we'll see what happens after that. And I promise, as soon as I hear anything, I will let you all know. Make sure that you have your Canvas notifications set. If you don't have that set, I'll show you where you can get those instructions. But anytime I hear anything, I will let you all know. I sent that welcome letter, and I think I let some of you know that we were going virtual before the college did. So I will definitely try to keep that information going to you. Okay. All right, so if we click on modules here, or you can go one of these links right here as well. Let's take a look at the syllabus together. And I am not going to go over all of it in detail. I got to save my voice a little bit because I definitely have been coughing on cue. But I do want to go over some of it, make sure you know what to expect. I'll talk about the textbook. If we go back, we'll go back like normal. It would be 2 days a week as scheduled, Tuesday, Thursday. But yeah, we'll see what they say. Um, the intention that I keep hearing is that we are going back, but our county numbers are so hideously awful right now that I don't know what that will mean. So yeah, as soon as I hear anything, I promise to pass that along. So let's click on the syllabus here, and you're going to want to look over this on your own as well. But let me highlight a couple of things on here, make it bigger. All right. So up here at the top, you can see the title. My name is Elisa Setmire. You can call me Elisa. You can call me Setmire. You can call me Professor Setmire. Email is always going to be the best way to get a hold of me. I do have a phone in my office, but I'm teaching at home, so I'm not always in my office right now because of us being virtual. So it's always better to email me. I check my email constantly, and I will get back to you pretty quickly. Usually within a day at the most. I'm usually much quicker than that. There's some information here about the course description. So make sure you read through this on your own, a little bit about what we're going to cover, what are the objectives of the course. Here's the textbook information. So somebody asked me a moment ago, looks like, I think it's Miriam who asked me, you do need a copy of the book. So there is a newer version of this book, but I kept with the older one just to save you a little bit of money. Textbooks are ridiculously expensive. I understand. I know. I've been there. But you will definitely need a copy of the book in order to succeed in the class, especially with us being virtual. It's going to be really important that you're reading in the book. So the textbook is called Fundamentals of Abnormal Psychology by Comer. And what I have on here is the older version. Now you can get an ebook, you can rent it, you can purchase it, you can do this in any way, but you are definitely going to need a book. And yes, reading the book is definitely important for doing well. Did anybody get the book? Anyone rent it, purchase it? How much did you pay? Where did you get it? Anyone want to put that in the chat? This is an older edition, so it should be a little cheaper. The new one was like $285, and I just didn't want to do that. You rented it, Gracie. How much was it for you? If you don't mind me asking, if anyone else doesn't mind sharing, that might be helpful. Right. I'm sure you can find it online, but you're definitely going to want to find a copy of that and be reading it as we go. $80. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. But if any of you find it cheaper, that's fantastic. But make sure that you either rent it or purchase it. I also gave you some links to an ebook version of it if that's better. Buying it was $170. Better than 280, I guess, right? Textbooks are obscene, and I'm sorry, you know, that's just a part of the process, but that's ridiculous, right? It really is way too expensive. But please do try and get a copy of it as soon as you can. Um, Okay, got yours used for 115, Kindle rent for 60. So do a little bit of research, right? If you see 67 for the ebook, thank you all. I appreciate you all chiming in. So it looks like you have some options. So just make sure that you do a little bit of research before you purchase something to make sure that you get the best deal. It looks like $67, $60, you can rent it or get an ebook. That's not bad. That's really, really reasonable. So try and get going on that as soon as you can. We're starting chapter 1 this week. So obviously the sooner that you get the book, the better. Hopefully that answered your question that you had about the textbook. Yeah, it's definitely going to be important for following along and getting that additional information. I have some computer and system requirement stuff. In general, if your computer is within the last like 5 years, you're probably fine. Just make sure you have a good internet connection. You have some software that can play audio and video files. I have some codes of conduct and policies. I really want this to be a very fun and interactive class, and I know that can be a little bit of a challenge in that we're online at the moment. But let's all hopefully share our stories. You're going to be interacting with me on here. We'll be interacting in the discussions. Let's always try and be kind and mindful and respectful of each other. I hope you share your stories. I imagine every single one of you knows somebody who has a mental illness or you suspect has a mental illness. And I would love to hear your questions and thoughts and stories as we go along. My late work and exam policy. So the way that the class is set up, and I'm approaching it like a fully online class for now. And if we change, we'll adjust. Every Monday morning, the week will open up, right? So we are in week number 1. It opened up Monday morning, and it closes Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. So you have the entire span of the week to complete the materials that are due this week. I'm really, really strict on the deadline. Because you have the entire week, there really isn't any reason that you shouldn't get them done before that due date, especially when you only often will have one discussion or something like that to do. I am on the other end of that, though, aware that this is a very, very chaotic and kind of unpredictable, difficult time. I know a lot of us are struggling. Some of us are sick. I'm definitely, like I said, fighting something. If something comes up, I'm completely willing and flexible to work with you as long as you email me before the weekly deadline. So if you email me on Friday or Saturday or even Sunday night at like 10 p.m. and say, I had an emergency, I had something come up, is there any way that I could have a little extra time? Is there any way, whatever? If you email me before the deadline, I will work with you. If you email me at 12:02 Monday morning, it will be too late. So that's kind of my one hard rule, that you need to contact me before the weekly deadline if you want any consideration of an extension. So I will work with you, but you have to reach out to me before the deadline. All of our materials are due before Sunday. Again, for now, I'm just going to treat this like 100% virtual class. If we go back in person, we will redefine all the rules. I might have to recreate some of this stuff. So for now, yes, everything is due by Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. as we go week by week. Do we need to submit the screen of some? No, so once you take the mandatory orientation quiz, it will show that you have a grade for it. So you just need to take the quiz and then you will have satisfied that requirement. And I'll show you where that is in a little bit as well. So please don't copy or cheat. There's some kind of codes of conduct for the campus, which aren't as important at the moment for us. As far as your grade goes, it's made up of 1, 2, 3, 4 components. So there's a mandatory orientation quiz that you need to take before this Sunday night. And that's what you just asked about. And I'll show you where this is when we go back to Canvas in just a moment. But this is my way of making sure that you've read the syllabus, you've looked everything over, you know what to expect, and you need to complete this before Sunday night if you would like to stay in the class. If you don't, you'll get a drop warning from me on Monday morning. So please make sure you do that this week. We will be writing a diagnosis paper. I love this assignment. I hope that you find the fun in it as well, as fun as a paper can be. But you will be writing a paper about a TV or movie character and diagnosing them with a mental illness. We'll break that into 3 different parts. I'll talk about those parts as we move through the semester, but you will be writing a paper on that. You'll be doing a discussion every week. And again, this is for as long as we're virtual. And so instead of in-class assignments, you will be responding to a prompt that I post for you. I'll show you where this is, and we'll go through all that in just a moment. And then you'll take 3 exams, and assuming we're still online, you'll take these online. We'll talk about the exams when we get closer. If we're back in person, it'll be a completely different situation. So we'll just assume for now that we'll talk about these when we get a little bit closer. It's not for a few weeks anyway at this point. So your grade adds up to just points. You can see the distribution right here. If you have an access memo, make sure that you get that to me as soon as possible. And these Twitch live streams are not captioned live. So I will be posting a recording of them when we're done, and those recordings will have captions. So you're welcome to watch them again later, or if you can't make it live for some reason or you lose connection, you can always watch the recording. But if you find that you do need like a live interpreter, you can reach out to me and we can work with Access to get that set up. There's some information about student support if you need help with Canvas, if you need information about college deadlines. So make sure you read through that if you need a little bit of help with those things. As I wrote here, right, as many of you are aware, right, we are virtual, and now it's at least the first 3 weeks, so we'll just we'll keep on our toes, right? We'll just see what happens as we go. But I have laid out the schedule for you, assuming that we are virtual, just because that's all I have to run with at the moment. So for now, what you'll see is each week, we're basically covering 1 chapter, and then you'll have a discussion that goes with it, and sometimes another element or 2, depending on the week. So that is the syllabus kind of quickly. Make sure that you read over it a little bit more on your own. Are there any other questions about the syllabus for now? I'm going to put that in the chat. Any other questions about the syllabus for the moment? I still have lots of other things to show you, but just to check in. Once you've gone through the syllabus, what you'll want to do from there is click on mandatory orientation and read through this little mandatory orientation lecture that I made for you. And I tried really hard. Like I said, I've been teaching online for a while. And so I have a lot of resources for you up here. If you're still confused, I have the welcome letter that I sent out. I have some discussion tips up here for you. There's lots of sample paper stuff, which we'll talk about later in the semester. Okay, good. I'm glad you're feeling okay so far. Lots of frequently asked questions. Here's that page about how to set your Canvas notifications. So if you haven't been getting my emails or announcements, you want to make sure that you follow the instructions here so that you are getting that. Here's some information about how to find me on Twitch and YouTube. I do use a lot of Twitch and YouTube in this class. It's my attempt to be interactive with all of you and to let you see me and kind of have this back and forth interaction. So really important that you find me and follow me or subscribe to me on those platforms so that you can access them easily. And so I did create a whole page on this just to try and help you. And I mentioned this before, and I'll probably mention it more than I would like to. I'm going to put it here in the chat. But if you can, and please don't ever pay for this. I don't want this to cost you anything, and it shouldn't ever cost you anything. But if you are able to subscribe to me on Twitch, it makes your life and my life way easier for a couple of reasons. The first is there are definitely ads on Twitch, and that's definitely a downside. If you subscribe, you only have the one at the beginning, and then you won't have to worry about it the rest of the time. I personally can't stand ads, so that's a big thing for me. But the biggest reason that I ask you to do this is I can download a list of people who participated in the stream afterward if you are subscribed. And that makes my life just a million times easier rather than otherwise I have to go through and highlight your names. So if you can take a few minutes to do this, I know it's a little bit tedious, but if you have, yes, and Amazon has student prices or free student Prime, actually. I sent out an email about this. If you are a student, you can get free Amazon Prime for 6 months. Or if you have a parent or somebody who has Prime, that would work as well. But I gave you instructions here how to go through step by step and do that. It takes a few minutes, but then you are set. It's only good for 30 days, but then you can renew it very easily. I also gave you a video, which I think is really helpful. But I greatly appreciate those of you who take the time to do this. It makes my life a million times easier, and also I think makes your experience a little bit smoother with the minimal ads. So I'll remind you every week to double check it. And if you look at the chat, You can tell if you're subscribed if you have the little football cake. It kind of looks like a hamburger, but it's a football next to your name. So like those of you who have the crown and the cake, you are subscribed. But if you can do that, great. And if you can't figure it out, that's all right too. But I just thought I'd put that out there. There's also some pages here on campus resources. Doesn't want to go back. Okay. There's some campus resources, Canvas user resources, psychology major information, and then here's that mandatory orientation lecture that I was telling you about. And it has 5 pages to it. There's little 5 tabs up here at the top. Wonder why that's not showing up. Canvas is always an adventure. That's all I'll say. But on the front page here, it tells you the 5 things that you need to do in order to complete the orientation. Read and listen to the subsequent pages, read through the syllabus, complete the quiz, and then find me on YouTube and Twitch. You can also listen to these. I recorded it if you miss my voice or if you would just rather listen to it. On the second page, there's a little bit about the organization of the course. In general, the way this will work, and this is, again, just for now, is you will every week, you'll be responsible for reading 1 chapter in the textbook. You'll watch the lecture video that I created for you that includes PowerPoint slides. You'll want to watch this and probably take notes. These are things that would appear on the exam. And then you'll participate in the weekly discussion topic. So every week we will meet on Tuesday. We'll hope that everything goes smoothly next week. And then on Thursday and the rest of the week, you will kind of have your own time to watch the lecture video, complete the discussion, and any other required weekly materials. So since we're virtual, I'm just having us meet the one day at our normal time. But yeah, if we do go back in person, it would be, of course, it would be both days. In addition to those weekly things, you'll also take 3 online exams, and then you'll have the diagnosis paper that you'll write throughout the course of the semester. The third page, I gave you a little bit of information about myself. Again, my name is Elisa Setmire. I am a huge, huge football fan. Playoffs this weekend, wild card weekend, I'm very excited. I have been a Tom Brady fan for what feels like forever. It feels like he's going to play till he's 80, I wish. But I'm a big Tom Brady fan, so now I guess I root for the Bucks. I don't know. I'm also absolutely obsessed with escape rooms. And I don't know if anyone else in here likes escape rooms, but they are my favorite thing to do maybe in life other than football. I have done 92 of them, and they are just so much fun. I love them so much, and it's a wonderful application of stuff that we talk about in psychology. Someone asked if, yes, it would be at 8:30 like normal. We're scheduled 8:30 to 9:45. I put some stuff in here. I have 4 cats. And because I'm at home, the likelihood that at some point they come into our stream is high. So I have 4 cats, Squash, Whiskey, Rolly, and Binks, and then 1 dog named Oso. I just gave you a little bit of information about myself, so you know a little bit about me, about the person teaching the class. Yep, my puppers, her name is Oso. She's almost 2. Let's see, there's some stuff here about the computer and internet stuff. If you're struggling with your settings, some of these things might be a little bit helpful. And if you need help, if you're still struggling after everything here and after the videos that I've created, there's some help on the distance education site. Yeah, Oso, huh? Bear, right? She looked like a little bear when she was a puppy. Now she's giant, but yes, she looked like a little bear. Canvas support number. And of course, if you're ever confused, please email me. I'm here. I'm a real person. I will get back to you. And I'm happy to help. So really important that you reach out to me if you're struggling or confused, because I can't see you, so I won't know if you're having a hard time. Once you've read through this and you've looked over the syllabus and you're feeling good about everything and the organization of the course, you'll take the little mandatory orientation quiz, and it's worth 10 points, but this is due before Sunday night. And again, my point with this is just to make sure that you understand that you're ready to go and that you are actively participating in the class before that drop deadline. So you have 15 minutes to take it. You only get 1 attempt. And when you're ready, you'll just hit take quiz. So let's take a look at what that would look like together. And what you'll do is as you go through these, there are, as you see, 10 questions here. And this is a great practice for the exams. The exams will be in this same format. So for example, number 1, our weeks begin on Monday at 12:01 a.m. and ends Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. So you'd select the right answer. Which of the following is not true about your instructor? I definitely do not hate football. I love football so much, right? I'll be so sad when it's over in a few weeks. So you'll go through and you'll select all of the answers here. I do want to point one out to you because I noticed that it's a little bit tricky at the moment. Question number 5, this class will be entirely online with no in-person meetings. Let's say true for now because we are assuming that we are 100% online. I'm going to give you that answer because I know that's a little bit confusing. So our class will be entirely online with no in-person meetings as of right now. So when you're done at the bottom, you'll hit submit quiz. Yeah, I saw your email and I wrote you back and adjusted your score. Anyone who got that wrong, I changed it and adjusted your score. I'm sorry, that was confusing. It was a question that I created for our virtual class, and we are obviously in a kind of unique situation. So I appreciated you reaching out to me about that. As soon as you finish the quiz, you'll get a score. I got a shameful 3 out of 10, but in all fairness, I got the 3 that I attempted correct, I suppose. So you'll see the ones that you got right and wrong. Once you've taken the quiz and you get a grade, you've satisfied that requirement. Right? COVID knows, only COVID knows. Once you take the quiz and get a score, you are done with that and set to proceed in the course. Yes, so my office hours, in a way, are kind of these sessions. At the end of these sessions, I will have some time where I'm just kind of hanging out for questions. If you ever want to meet with me individually, we can set up a Zoom session, or you can obviously email me and we can work that out. So at the moment, everything is virtual. So if you would like to have a meeting with me outside of this and kind of more individually, you can always send me an email and we'll set that up. So make sure for right now, some of the big things to work on. You want to make sure you get your copy of the textbook, whether that is an ebook or a rental or a physical copy, whatever works for you and works with your budget. Make sure that you read through the syllabus, read through the mandatory orientation materials, click on everything, explore our site, get to know it, get comfortable with it. If you're still feeling a little bit overwhelmed, there is I thought I made a video up here. It's not on this one. So I'm thinking of my other class. But if you're still feeling a little bit overwhelmed, you can always email me, click through and check everything, look at the frequently asked questions, make sure your notifications are set, make sure that you've subscribed on Twitch and linked your accounts together. That's going to be really helpful for you if we, especially if we remain virtual. And then once you've done all of that, you can start on week number 1. And again, the format that we'll follow every week is that you'll read a chapter in the textbook, and I would recommend that you do that first, right? So you're going to want to read the chapter, and then you're going to want to watch the lecture video that I created for you. So what I did is I recorded myself lecturing with PowerPoint slides, and I've given you the slides right here in case you would like them. And these videos are going to range from like 40 minutes to like an hour and something, depending on the topic and depending on the week. Most of them are Zoom links because I have videos in them outside of, so I can't post them on like YouTube or something like that. They are captioned. The captions aren't perfect, but they're definitely there and hopefully will be really helpful for you. But if you look at these videos, let me mute it. It's me lecturing to the slides, right? And so what you'll want to do with these is take notes and follow along. The materials on these are definitely going to show up on the exams. So, and I do have video clips in them. So read the chapter in the book, and then you'll want to watch the lecture video and take notes and complete discussion number 1. So discussions, you'll do these each week. They're worth up to 15 points. 13 points are your response to my questions, and then 2 points for responding to a classmate. And you'll notice at the top I have instructions for you to watch the little video that I created, which is linked on YouTube, and then to answer my prompts below. So I would really recommend watching these. They're only like 1 minute to 2 minutes long, but I go through the prompt, I give you some examples and kind of explain each one a little bit more. I think that's kind of helpful. I hope you find it helpful. You're going to want to answer my questions as detailed as possible. This is your chance to show off your knowledge and comprehension of the materials. So make sure that you're answering really thoroughly. Think of these almost like little mini papers, and you're really trying to give me as much information as you can. You're going to want to read through a minimum of 5 of your classmates' responses and then reply to one of them. So as soon as you're ready and you've watched the video, you'll answer my questions right here by clicking on reply. When you click reply, it'll bring up a box where you can type your response. And it's probably a really good idea to save whatever you submit, just in case, right? What if for some reason it doesn't go through or your internet crashes? Who knows? It's a good idea to save that. So make sure that you are saving anything that you put on there. But you'll read through the scenarios in this little disorder or no disorder handout. You're going to be deciding whether somebody has a disorder or not, and then thinking about some stereotypes related to therapy, therapists, and people who go to therapy. So each week you'll do one of these. Again, they're worth up to 15 points. If you ever want to see the rubric, it's up here on the little snowman or 3 dots up at the top. But these discussions are kind of the biggest thing that you're being graded on at the moment. So make sure that you spend a lot of time with your responses. Nobody has replied yet, but as soon as somebody does, you can also reply to one of your classmates. Okay. And I know I'm talking a lot today, I'm throwing a lot at you, but are there any other questions or anything so far? We're getting there. I'm almost through all the things I wanted to share with you, but any other questions or thoughts or comments or anything for the moment? I'll wait just a moment. You're usually about 20 seconds behind me. But those are some of the big things, all right? So every week you'll notice everything you need to do is organized under that week. So as long as you have read the chapter, watched the video, done the discussion, and then I'll talk about this last thing in a moment, you'll have completed everything for week number 1. Yes. So I think it's Jaden. I'm sorry if I'm not saying that right. Jaden, you are subscribed, so you actually don't need to worry about it. If you have the little hamburger, I said it, I messed it up. The football cake next to your name, you actually don't need to do that, but you could always do it to be safe. That's totally fine. Okay. So the last thing that we will have, and this is completely optional, I'm going to talk about that right now, the extra credit. So I'm glad you asked. So for the extra credit every week, I mean, you should be on here with me anyway, because this time should have been free for you. But every week is a way to reward you for coming, for being here live, and for participating. I will be giving you an extra credit question during these streams. So toward the end, I will give you a question. I'll put it in the chat here in just a moment. And then what you do is you will come here and you'll click on the extra credit assignment for that week, and you can answer it to earn those 2 points. So in order to earn the extra credit, it's kind of a two-part process. First, you join me on here and put your name in the chat, and then second, you will answer the question on here to actually get those points. Yeah, and that's good advice. If you have any issues, definitely let me know, right? If at any point you have questions or concerns or you're confused, you always do want to reach out to me. Again, I'm here for you. So let me give you the extra credit question. So I wrote this up already just to make my life easier. So one of the topics that we are covering this week has to do with the D's of abnormality. Okay, so once you have read the lecture and you've watched the lecture video, you will know the answer to this. And somebody asked me yesterday, there are only 4 in the book, but in the lecture, I added a 5th one. So once you watch the lecture, you will see that. But your extra credit question for this stream is, what are the 5 D's of abnormality? And you just need to list them. So what are those 5 D's of abnormality? And when you're ready to answer that, you'll go back to Canvas, click right here on Twitch extra credit number 1. And it's going to bring up a page here, and it has the instructions again, just to remind you. You'll click on Start Assignment up here at the top, and it brings up a text box where you can type your response. And then once you've answered the question, you've listed those 5 Ds, you'll hit Submit, and you get a little confetti burst, which is the most exciting part. It's the little things in life. I love the confetti burst. and that's worth up to 2 points of extra credit. Now, I grade these throughout the week, so if you get it wrong for some reason and you submitted it early, I'll let you know, and you can always try again. But this is due before Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. So 2 parts, you join me live, I'll give you the question, and then you can answer it under that Twitch extra credit assignment for that week. And I really hope you do these. Those 2 points will add up, and it's just extra credit points that will get added to your grade. and you should be here with me anyway. So I'm rewarding you for keeping me company early in the morning for our class. The other thing I want to point out is once we are done today, I will be posting a recording of this live stream. So if you missed part of it, or if you're not able to make it one week because you're not feeling well or whatever it might be, I will be posting it right here. And it takes me a couple of hours. I have to download it and then upload it, but it will be right here afterward later on in the day. So you can always watch that later on. It's in the book and in the lecture. So if you watch the lecture video, you will get those 5 Ds of abnormality. The book talks about 4, but I added a 5th one in the lecture. And Laura, if you have a question, you can go ahead and type that up here if you have a question regarding that. But definitely make sure to watch the lecture video. That is where I covered that information. And again, these lecture videos are me lecturing to you like we would have done in person. And hopefully it's as close to that as we can get. A couple of reminders as we're kind of getting toward the end of our time. I want to be mindful of your time, and I do have a couple other classes today as well. Our next, I'm going to type in the chat. Our next Twitch live stream will be on Tuesday. And again, it'll normally be Tuesday. I'm so sorry that we had issues. For whatever reason, the audio was not working on Tuesday, but it's working fine. So Tuesday the 18th, so Tuesday 1/18 at 8:30 in the morning. So we say our next Twitch live stream will be Tuesday 1/18 at 8:30 in the morning. And so I hope that you join me live for these. You really should be here. And again, I'm rewarding you with those 2 points for doing so. We had a question. So how do the guys in the lecture video have a disorder because he only fits one of the Ds? So it's kind of up to you to decide if they have a disorder or not. And if we were meeting in person, we'd have a big conversation about it. But they're very subjective, right? So you have to decide, do you think they have a disorder or not? And I think both of them are very, very up for debate. Both Lizard Man and Stalking Cat, their names, are very interesting people. And I think that if you saw them on the street, you would do a double take. But is that enough to say they have a disorder? And that's something that you're thinking about a lot this week in the discussion and also in the lecture. So not a clear answer on that one, Laura, right? So it's kind of up to you to decide what you think. All right. So one more time, quick reminders, get your book, get going on the mandatory orientation that's due before the end of the week. Make sure you get started on all of the week number 1 materials. Again, if you have the time, please take a few moments to connect with me here on Twitch. I will be using it very heavily for at least the next 3 weeks. So if you can do that, I would appreciate it for both of our sakes. I will post the recording later if you need it. And again, the biggest thing, this is obviously not the ideal situation. Things are definitely a little different than we had intended, but I think we can still have a really wonderful class, regardless of whether we meet in person or online. And please, please, please reach out to me if you are confused, if you need help, if you want to schedule a meeting with me. I am here and I'm happy to support you. So get going on all the required stuff for the week. And then what I will typically do is I'll take the last 10 minutes or so and I'll hang out if there are any general questions about the class or about the assignments, the materials. I will be here. But at this point, we are kind of done with our official kind of class stream. So if you are done and don't have any questions, you are welcome to go. If you want to hang out for a little bit, I will stay here for about like eight or so more minutes before my next class. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. So big thing, take care of yourselves, try and stay healthy and hang in there. I hope you're all having a really good first week of this semester, even though it's definitely a little bizarre. I'm still grateful for you all being here. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful week, everyone. And I will see you on Tuesday morning next week. And again, I'm going to hang out for a little bit. So please feel free to ask questions if you have them. Why is deviance considered for a mental disorder? So those 5 Ds are kind of like a general guideline. Okay, so the Ds aren't criteria for a disorder. We'll talk about specific criteria, But in general, when somebody varies or they deviate from norms, we tend to wonder about their behavior. If somebody acts very differently than what is considered like normal or typical, then we might consider it to be strange or deviant or abnormal. It's not a clear line. So those Ds, those 5 Ds of abnormality, aren't diagnostic as much as there may be like a general guideline. If somebody fits all 5 of those Ds, then we might start to look at, do they meet the criteria for specific disorders, which we'll talk about later in the semester. Okay. Yes, so Twitch is only Tuesday morning, so it'll be Tuesday morning at 8:30. And if we end up staying virtual, I might adjust that. But we'll see. For now, we're going to stick with Tuesday mornings only, and then the rest of the week you'll be on your own to kind of complete the other materials and the lecture and everything that I've recorded for you. Okay. If we were present in the last Zoom, we were silly and didn't write down the extra credit question. So the extra credit question is always going to be in the chat. So if you go back, you could always rewatch the Twitch session, and then you could get it that way again. So I don't post it anywhere else, just so I want you to be on here with me. But you could go back and rewatch it, and then you would be able to get that information again. So for this one, it was what are the 5 Ds of abnormality, and just to list them. So you could always go back and rewatch a stream if you needed to do so. All right. Thank you all so much for being here and for asking questions and participating. I'm super grateful for it. It's the little things, right? Or just trying to be grateful for the interactions that we get. And so thank you all so much. I'm really glad that you're here. I'm excited for our semester, even if it's strange. I'm still really looking forward to it. And I'm here for you if you need help. So I'm going to minimize my video, but I'll hang out for a few more minutes if you do have any other questions. And if you think of something later in the week, you can always email me. Thank you as well. Thank you for being on here with me. So the MO1 class is in a couple of minutes, right? So I'm actually finishing up my last class here, Chance. Our MO1 class is at 11 o'clock, right? So 11 o'clock, I'll be on here a little bit later. I do have 3 classes today, so sorry for the confusion, but I will be on here if you want to log in at about 10:50, Chance, then you'll be able to be there for that class. Right place a bit early. Always good to be early, right? But yes, we'll be here at 11. I have another class here at 10, and then I have one at 11. So 3 classes today. So Chance, I'll see you at 11. Perfect. Sounds like a plan. All right, everyone, it looks like most people have logged out. There's just a couple of you left in here. If you have any other questions, please feel free to email me. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up so I can start downloading it to post on Canvas. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you all on Tuesday for our next stream. Yeah, you and me alone, right? Tropical Geek, it's just you and me. But yeah, nice to see you all or hear your voices on here. Let's see, Professor, do we just have to answer what are the 5? No, so Miriam, so you are answering what are the 5 Ds of abnormality. So once you watch the lecture, you'll get that pretty clearly from there. It's on the first couple of slides. I have them listed and I go over them in a lot of detail. So once you've watched that lecture video, that should be pretty clear for you. The 5 Ds. You just need to list them. Yeah, and you're welcome to stay. I have 3 of them today, though it's not the most exciting. We're just going over syllabi and very similar stuff, but you are definitely welcome to stay if you would like to hear it again. Perfect, no worries. I completely understand. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and log out of this one, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. And yep, I might see some of you later today. And take care, and thank you again so much for joining me.